Hi YouTube, so welcome to another video. This is one I've been meaning to do for a while, which is basically a completely honest review of the major stuff I've done to the FN2. So I was looking at reviewing the big brake kit, the changing the rear beam, the coilovers, poly bushes. But before I do all that good stuff, there was one I thought I'd just mention because it sprung to mind, and it's probably something that most people have thought about doing, which is the eBay special Type R badge. So those who watch the channel regularly will have seen that that's what I did on the front grille, and you'll probably see that the R fell out. So I thought, okay, firstly, it was a pain in the arse to fit. I had to modify it to get it to fit. Secondly, the red R of the Type R, the big R, that fell out. So I thought, okay, I'll paint it. So I painted it. I thought, it's alright, up close it looks a bit rubbish, but there we go, I'll leave it. And then I looked the other day and the T has fallen out, so I just got rid of it now. So I think the lesson from all this is to buy proper badges, buy the official OEM badges, I think. So let's get that's out of the way now. So I've kind of put the others in order, in some sort of order of how I think they've affected the car. So firstly, the new rear beam. So those of you who watch the channel regularly will know that I believe it's a Type S rear beam that I've got now. I bought it thinking it was a Type R one. It was advertised as the Type R, and when I got it, I soon realised that the torsion bar through the middle was a lot thinner. And sort of asking around, it turned out I think people believe it's the Type S one. So it was the same size from wheel hub to wheel hub, so I thought, sod it, I'll use it. And it was £200 rather than the 800 I believe the official ones are from Honda. So what I did was installed a white line rear anti-roll bar as well. And I see there's a lot of stuff going around on the forums at the moment about people having snapped beams, and I've put a few comments in here and there, and for me, I haven't noticed any difference. Like most things, I think if you took your car on track you might notice, but if anything, mine now with the white line anti-roll bar, it's going to be stiffer than what it was to start with. But if you didn't do that, you just went for what I believe is the Type S one and just didn't bother with the anti-roll bar, I personally don't think you would notice any difference on regular day-to-day use. Possibly you would on a track, but I can't really comment on that at the moment. Actually, talking of rear beams, when I got my alignment done, I can't remember, I think I'll let you know, but I think it's the left or, well, it would be the left or right. One of them, the toe was slightly different to the other, but it wasn't enough to cause any problems. The rear toe was more out than I remembered when I saw this piece of paper. So we got 20 minutes on the rear left and 40 minutes on the rear right, both toe in. So yeah, I need to make a decision whether I get some shims, try and get them all even, or get them both a bit lower. Not really sure what it should be, to be honest. Looks like it needs to be pretty low to get in that little green bit in the middle, 0.1. So yeah, I'll have to have a look into some shims. Maybe that'll be another video coming soon. So I think the company that produced the rear beam I put in mine, I think they're actually developing a Type R one at the moment. So it'd be worth looking on some of the Facebook forums, because I think there's a lot of people talking about that. So you might want to hold off and get that one if you need one at the moment, or in the near future, because there seems to be a lot of cases at the moment of snapping rear beams. So I suppose they're getting to that age, aren't they, really? The second one I want to mention is the poly bushes. Now this one's a bit tricky again for me because the bushes I took out were in really good condition. So I don't think you're going to see quite the difference as you would expect if you had just completely knackered bushes. Again, probably if you took it on track, you would notice a hell of a lot difference than what you do just driving on the road. But I mean, I've poly bushed the control arms on the BMW and the anti-roll bars. And if there's one thing that's exactly the same having poly bushed is the response. So if you like turn your steering wheel, it responds instantly, because obviously there's no rubber bush to compress before it does what you're asking it to do. It just does it instantly. So that's the main thing I can notice with the poly bushes. It's just instant. I mean, I look like a right idiot now swerving down the road. But so would I recommend the poly bushes? The way I see it is, if you're going to keep your FN2 for a long time, then at some point you're going to have to change the bushes because they wear out. So you might as well put poly bushes on, because they basically last as long as your car. You don't need to keep replacing them like you would standard bushes. So yeah, I definitely recommend doing them, and yeah, they just got a much better response when you're steering. Now the next one I wanted to talk about was the coilovers. When I was installing the coilovers, I felt how stiff the springs were compared to the lowering springs I took off. I thought, shit, am I going to make this ride loads worse? But I cannot tell you how much better it is. It's stiff still, it's still a stiff ride, but it just goes to show what having decent shocks do. I've got the front and rear set to the softer setting, and there's particular bits that I drive frequently, and it's just night and day. It's just, I'm not bouncing around all over the place, it just takes the bumps. So coilovers, I'm not going to say Meister R is the best because I haven't tried the rest. So what I would say is definitely coilovers improve the ride, going from lowering springs that is, and probably 10-year-old shocks. They look pretty old, to be honest. But what I would say is to probably go for something probably 750 quid upwards. There's no point going for cheap ones because they probably will make the ride worse. So you probably, you know, I'm no expert, but I'm going to say that probably the BCs and the Meister R's and the Yellow Speed, I always forget what it was, Yellow Speed, yeah, they're probably all on a par, to be honest. So I went for the Meister R's because I couldn't find a bad review about them. So now what I would say about the coilovers, and when doing any suspension, is get your alignment done afterwards. After I did the coilovers, I took mine to be aligned, and the front left was towing out loads. My steering wheel, when I was driving straight, it was kind of off to the left. So yeah, oh, another thing actually, because I set the camber at the front exactly the same on both sides, like you would, and it turns out they're actually about 1 degree difference. I'll have to have a look at the piece of paper. I'll let you know which way round it was, but yeah, one of them was about 1 degree higher than the other one. I'll save what I think is the best mod that I've done for last, which is the big brake kit plus braided lines. It is just, I know people throw around that whole night and day thing, but it really is compared to the OEM brakes. I mean, I've only got the brakes that came with it, the brake pads that came with it, which I think were Brembo possibly. But it's insane. Whenever I get back in the Beamer, which has still got standard brakes, it's got slotted discs and braided lines and things, or if I get my partner's Civic Type S, those brakes just feel crap compared to this. just trying to find a bit of road where I can slam the brakes on, where I haven't got a car right behind me. Don't fucking get over then, you stupid fucking thing. I've just pulled over to let some traffic past. What I'll do is I'll get up to about 60 miles an hour and slam the old brakes on. Just ripped my face off. That reminded me, that bit of acceleration, that I didn't mean to talk about it in this review, but that air intake that I made, it makes such a better sound than what it did before. So yeah, I'd probably recommend that as well, but I didn't really mean to talk about that today. So here's a good test of the coilovers, because that's a really bad bit of road. It looked like I was jiggering around a bit. Jiggling? Oh, I don't know. It looked like I was probably moving around a bit, but believe me, that is a really terrible bit of road, and it's a lot better than what it was. It's a shame I can't really prove what I'm saying, but I mean, a lot of people have asked for my opinion on some of the things I've done. I will be doing a scientific test on the brakes pretty soon, I think. I've got a draggy, so I'm going to test the deceleration and hopefully get a mate in with his standard FN2 brakes to do exactly the same, so we can compare how long it takes to stop. But the rest of it, like the coilovers and the coilovers and the polybushes, you just gotta, it's just like my opinion really, but I definitely recommend them. So I hope this has been useful to you guys, and I've quite enjoyed going out for a little drive because I don't really get out much anymore. So thanks for watching as always. Oh, we've got a little roundabout coming up. Oh no, that's a new roundabout. Almost caught me out. Tire of that noise. So thanks for watching, I hope that was useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the old notification bell, chuck a comment down below. It'd be nice to hear your opinions on the same mods I've been talking about. So and I shall see you on the next one. Cheers guys.